Welcome to the Bad Bitch Revolution. I'm Selene Devereaux, your host. We will be diving into all of the things surrounding challenging societal norms, inspiring positive change for us to live unapologetically without shame. This podcast was inspired by my own unique journey, walking through the exact same thing and being like, fuck you, I don't want to do that just because I should. I'm so excited that you chose to listen, and I can't wait for you to get into it with us. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Bad Bitch Revolution. I'm Selene Devereaux, your lovely feral goddess host, and I'm here with Sir Drewski today, and I'm so fucking excited about this.
Yes, the ultimate baddie. Almost pulled out the pink bonnet for this, but I was like, all right, let me just chill for a minute.
Listen, the bonnet is killing me because you said that you lost your bonnet, okay? Now, here's the thing. I lose my bonnet all the fucking time, but I have like 7 of them for that exact purpose.
Yeah, I'm new to the bonnet world, all right? So you gotta cut me a little bit of slack. I only had one, and it's probably tucked somewhere in my mattress or something at this point. Got lost while I was crying in bed or something. But you know, I went to Walmart, the best place on earth. It's like Walmart is like a casino. The super Walmarts is like you get in there and just time just just goes out the window. Anyway, and all they had were these like bright pink satin bonnets, and I'm like, you know what? That's on brand for me right now. So I upgraded from the black bonnet to the sky pink, and I'm feeling very very baddie about that.
I love that for you. I honestly hate pink. And what was so funny is like when I first went natural, I didn't have a bonnet. I only had a scarf. But because my curls, I needed a bonnet instead.
Mhm.
I was like, what are these things? What these are hideous. So like I bought something just in like to get me by, and then like I went on this website and I can't remember what it was, but like they had all these really cool colors. And then also I have a big ass head. So so like they're like adjustable, and like that made me feel good.
Yeah, for
About my
sure.
large head, because I can't even wear, I keep buying hats at concerts. I can't even fucking wear them most of the time because it's like go stop that. Yeah, so
Your head looks proportionate though. Like it doesn't. It's not one of those boggle heads, you know.
I I mean it's not, but the circumference, she is large. My
Have you ever
dad keeps
measured
me.
her?
I will absolutely not be doing any of that nonsense because I am convinced it's not that big. Like I'm just like it's not, because for a while people were like you have a big forehead, and I was like no I don't. I don't. Where? What face are you looking at? Because the face I look at does not have a big forehead. Um,
I don't see it.
yeah, I don't have a big forehead, but I've also, it's probably because my entire life my hair has always been like this. So you couldn't even see my
Ah.
forehead. And
Hmm.
so like then they can see my forehead, and I was like it's really not that big, you guys. It's not. You guys are
No,
jerks.
you have
And
a
I don't
lovely
like it.
forehead. You have a lovely
Thank
forehead.
you. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry if you can hear my cat. Anybody who watched my podcast with my sister will know that Loki thinks that she needs attention the minute that I get on a video call, like whether I'm at work, whether I'm just picking up the phone. Like in my bedroom, she will be down here and all of a sudden she's there. Ma'am, what
Mhm.
do you want? But she's not a good baby. She doesn't sit in my lap. She will walk back and forth, and I'm like, you can't be in my lap. I can't do it. I can't do it. So if you hear whining, that's because I'm ignoring her. Like she's going like this to get my hand to pet her.
The
She's
the cat is in supervisor mode. That's what I call it.
she is special, this one.
I heard her that time.
she, she is so loud. But yeah, no. So what was so funny to me is that like I kept calling you a baddie, and then you had the audacity to be like, it's I'm like, sir, sir, now you know better. There's only a small percentage of the population that is not considered a baddie, and I don't think we need to say that out loud to know what we're talking about.
Okay, can we define what a baddie is?
Okay, so I am a baddie, okay, because I
Obviously.
listen, I just like came into like this confident side of me like in my late 20s. Like growing up, like I was always insecure, but it was really weird because I always was just myself. I was like this weirdo, and other people would always kind of like make fun of me about it. I had a ton of friends, but they were just like, settle down, babe, settle down. And I'm like, but you guys are boring. This is boring. Why can't we be more fun? I don't know if you saw my Selene History Month yesterday. I posted a TikTok, and it was the teenage dirtbag one because I found, like, I was looking for a yearbook and I found all of my pictures from high school. And so I had to log into Facebook and be like, guys, I just want you to know I'm about to make this TikTok, and some of y'all are going to feel some type of way because this is embarrassing for you. I am not embarrassed. I can't be embarrassed. But anyway, so like I started doing my makeup. Like I taught myself how to do eyeliner because I was always jealous that there was eyeliner. I learned all about like lipsticks and all this stuff. And so like I really like just started enhancing like my face because I thought I was cute. I mean, some people, my mother, have unnecessary comments to make.
Uh-oh.
But
We're going to have to get into
it's
that.
so we will. Trust me, we will. It's fine. Um, but I don't know. So I did a boudoir photo shoot because like I started therapy and she was like, "What makes you happy?" I don't know. I was like, "I'm just this dude's wife and this kid's mom. Like I don't even know who I am anymore."
Mm.
Um, and so something happened and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do a photo shoot. That's what I want to do." And everybody thought that I did it for my then husband or whatever. And I was like, I don't know that man. This is not about him. This is about me. But I still was super nervous. I was also the heaviest I'd ever been in my life too. And I was just like, I'm like, let's just take pictures of me with barely any clothes on. Sure, whatever. But I got the pictures back, and I've always been this way, like where I just overshare on the internet because I love to embarrass myself on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Relatable.
And everybody was like, "Oh my god, you look like a model." I was like, "Me? Me? Thank you so much." So after that first one, I um I started like taking care of myself and like because I was in a deep depression because I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was 19 and I went unmedicated for several years. Um, and so like I had been on my medication for a while. And so like I was taking care of myself, moving my body, actually eating food and stuff like that. And so I had lost some weight. Like it wasn't the intention, but like my body composition changed. I was literally the same weight, but like my body composition changed. And so the same girl who did the first one, she was back in town, and I was like, can we do a new one?
Run it back. Yep.
She she was like, you are a completely different person than you were 2 years ago. Because she was like, she's like, were you okay with topless? I was like, I was not, but I am. I was like, ma'am, let's just do it all. So my my lock screen currently is a picture from my boudoir photo shoot because it's literally my favorite picture of all of them. You might have seen it on threads before, but it's just like, I don't know how to work my phone. This is why I need my child. She gets really mad at me about my lack of being able to use my phone. It's like, why are
My
you
my
so
kid
old?
calls me a boomer, so yeah, I understand.
It's rude, like, so this is the picture, and I'm like, God damn, that bitch is fine. So I get
Smoking.
I get these pictures back, and nobody could tell me shit. Nobody could tell me shit. I was like up here. And so this was like after my then husband, we separated and I was dating or whatever. And like I literally just was like going through the roster of guys, and like it was like a revolving door. And I was like, I don't care. Like I'm not looking for a relationship. I missed my whole ass hoe era because my dumb ass got married at 19. So here we
Ooh.
are. I'm for the streets right now. Like that is what I did.
Wait, so currently single or married or partnered up, booed up, cuffed? We're in cuffing season still, right? Are you
I
cuffed?
cannot I cannot disclose this information.
Okay, say less. I got it. Say less. Changing
people
the
might
subject.
people might see this and then it's going to be a whole thing, and I'm just
Yeah,
not
I
feeling
got it.
that. You know
I
what I'm
got it.
saying?
I
So,
got it.
I mean, like, we could talk about it where it's not in the world, but like here today, I cannot talk about that information. I don't know anything. You know what? I am married to me. Okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's like legitimate though. Like
I can dig it.
when I left my last husband, I say that like I left him in like some disarray. It's not, there wasn't anything like that. But like when I left or whatever, I just felt so confident in myself and so like self-assured. And one of the last things that my therapist had said to me before I left Florida to move back to Missouri was that accounting is going to be my job, but helping people is going to be my career. And like,
Love it.
and this takes me back to like when I was little and like I was always trying to save the world. My mom said, I don't know what she was talking about because like I was just out here being like the mom, like I was always like in a maternal aspect of like the friend group. Everybody came to me for advice. Like I was the go-to. So like when she said that and I was like, can you tell my mom that? Cuz she keeps telling me that I can't save the world. Ma'am, do not, don't threaten me with a good time.
I'm hearing some mommy issues already early.
Oh
Is
no,
that
I
off
have
limits?
no. So I have mommy issues and daddy issues. Like I'm like a full course meal with that.
Equal
So
opportunity.
it's
It's good.
like whatever you want, it's on the table.
Yeah.
So it's so after the divorce, the relationship that I had with my mom like changed dramatically to where like I finally put some distance in between her and I because I was really tired of the way that she was talking to me. And I was like, just because you're my mom doesn't mean that you get to be rude. And she just has, it's called emotional blackmail. And I did
Mhm.
not know that was a thing. And like when my therapist had told me that, I'm like sitting here like, I was like, this bitch. So what happened was is when I came back, I didn't have a job lined up immediately, but I was going to be a single mom with my daughter, and so I had asked my parents, could you like front me some money to get a place, like an apartment or whatever, and then I'll pay you back when I get a job. Like that was it, and that was really hard for me because I know what asking my parents for things comes with. There's a lot of strings with that. These motherfuckers bought a whole ass house.
For you. And you
Said
still
house
call
was,
them motherfuckers after they bought you a house. I love that for you.
hold on. Said house was also down the street from their house.
From them. Okay.
So anyway, I get a job, I'm paying them rent, like just like a regular tenant landlord situation, but they don't know boundaries. They don't understand that. But one day I had went to the dentist and like had some dental work done and they had to laser some of my gum and that shit hurt so bad. This was late in the afternoon. So I go to work the next day, but I'm in so much pain that like I feel like I'm going to throw up. So I go home because I have PTO and that's what it's for. So I lay down, I'm asleep because I'm in pain. Apparently, my mom and my stepdad came down to mow my lawn and I didn't answer the door. Okay? So this is important. This is an important piece of information.
Got it.
So I finally wake up shortly before like my daughter's going to get off the bus because her bus stop was in front of their house and I said, "Hey mom, I'm home so I can get her." She's like, "No, I'll just bring her." And I was like, "I mean, if you want to, I don't fucking care, but sure." This lady comes in my house and is like, "You're going to get fired." What? And she's like, "Why didn't you answer the door earlier?" So I explained to her what happened. And she's like, "Just you can't lose this job." I was like, "Ma'am, I don't work at the post office. Like I'm allowed to take my PTO days. Thank you." Um, sorry about that trauma for you, but that's not my life. Um, And so then we get into this conversation, and she's like coming at me and coming at me because that's what she does every time we're with each other. It's like my older sister and then my younger sister, but it's always harp on Selene. Like whatever is happening in the moment, Selene is the problem. So she she was like, "You're disrespecting me in this house." I was like,
Oh
"How?"
boy. Oh boy.
And she was like, "Because you've got dishes in the sink." I was like, "Mom, do you remember when my father punched a hole in the wall? That's disrespecting the house." And she's like, you're not who I want you to be." Correct. I was like, I have told you that so many times. Like, I'm not going to be this person. And then somehow we get to talking about my bipolar disorder. And she says, "You just use it as an excuse." I said, "Mom, I think you need to go."
Mm, mm,
I was like, I think we're done with this conversation. I think you need to leave." She's like, "I'm not leaving." "Please leave, please." Here's the kicker. She then says, "You are no good to yourself or your daughter."
mm.
And then she pushed me. I was so infuriated. Like, I was bawling for hours because I was like, in what realm did like she feel like that was an appropriate way to handle anything? So we're not no contact because I don't know. I'm just this weird person. Like, I collect strays. They have drama, they have negativity, they bring my soul down, so I got to put distance, but I can't cut them off completely. Like, I can't. But I did, through therapy, like, it had to accept she's not going to change. She's not willing to change. This is who she is. And I'm very good at my boundaries with her now. Like, if we're on the phone and she starts acting like I don't, I gotta go, mom. I gotta go. Um, a couple years ago, I had like a big blow up with a best friend, and like I was upset. And my phone has been on Do Not Disturb since 2020. Okay, so just do with that what you will. The
Yep.
only people who can get in are four of my friends and my child, because that's all. I don't want to talk to anybody else. So, like, my sisters, we had a group chat during COVID, and that was fine. That was cute. But now I want to unsubscribe. Like, why am I still here? I don't want to talk about whatever shit that y'all are talking about, but whatever. So, and also, I don't know where my phone is half the time. Like, I'm one of those weird millennials who is not attached to their phone. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's so many moments where I'm like, dude, where's my phone? In my hand, in my pocket. But I don't know where it is. So it was upstairs, I was downstairs. I went upstairs and I saw that like my sisters like both called me. And then like as I was looking, my mom was calling. I was like, "What is going on?" And she's like, "Your sisters are worried about you. So they called you?" So this is like a week before my birthday. So she came. No, hold on. This is the best part. So she came to give me my birthday card, and she didn't get out of the car this time because she was like trying to get back home before traffic. And so I walked out to the car, and she goes, "You owe me an apology." No, I don't.
Hmm.
And I was like, "Listen, if you don't want to give me the card, don't give me the card. I lose. It's not that serious for me."
Wait, hold on. You owe her an apology because she pushed you
No,
and some
I owe.
dishes
Listen, no, I owe her an apology for just being who I am. Literally, my entire
just for
existence.
existing.
Just my
Yeah.
existence is just like it bothers her to no end. I mean, I was at her house for Mother's Day, not this past year, but the year before. I thought I was going to throw hands with my mom.
Who would win?
I was like, oh, I would win 100%. She's probably the only person I could fight though that I would win. Like, my mouth, I am so surprised that I have not been in more fights because the way I run my mouth, my hands cannot back that shit up. But I will say that anybody who went to high school with me to this day, if they have not kept in contact with me, they're still scared as shit of me. And I'm like, y'all, I know I was a really terrible teenager. Like, I was an asshole. Like, I look back and I'm like,
Well,
why didn't
what does
somebody?
teenage version of you look like though? Is it like just drugs and debauchery? Is it just being a
So I
contrarian?
so I never did drugs. Um, I actually never did marijuana until I was like 28. I'll tell you the story because it's fucking hilarious too.
What's funny to me is you say I did marijuana. Like just that the whole phrasing of that just yeah.
This is I have the vocabulary of a fifth grader and the life skills of a 10th grader. Okay. Like, I don't know how I have kept a child alive for almost 18 years, quite frankly. Like, the fact that she's still living, I'm winning at something. Like, this is great.
How old is she?
She's 17. She'll be 18 in May.
17. You're 38. Am I allowed to say that on the cast? We can edit that out
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
not. Okay. All right.
Listen, no. First, hold on. First of
Math
all,
is hard.
I'm not editing anything. What happens, happens.
All
What
right.
happens,
Straight
fucking
like
happens.
that. All right.
No, but I had her when I was 20. I got pregnant at 19, and then I had her at 20.
Okay. Relatable. I've got two kids. My oldest is 20. My youngest is 15 going on 16 next month. Both boys. Pains in the
So like
ass.
you had to do teenage twice. See,
Yeah, and
that's
what's crazy about that is as the first one is coming out of his angsty teenage phase, the youngest
uh-huh.
one is going into it. So it's like right as I'm thinking like, okay, we got a little bit of breathing room. Now the youngest one is I'm getting text messages from him talking about, Dad, can you pick me up because I'm greened out in the bathroom. I got too high on the vape. Okay, when did you start smoking? When did this even start?
You're like, "Man, what?"
Yeah, and it's just been this whole thing. So relatable. I missed my whole phase too, by the way. So having kids that young, I don't know what that's all about. But
It's
yeah,
like like at this point now, like I'm excited about the fact that like I am she doesn't need as much mothering. Like I'm not one of those parents where it's like you're 18, you gotta leave. Like I was like, stay as long as you want. I literally don't care. I was like, it is expensive outside, and I can't because basically like the thing is that she wanted to have like an apartment with her best friend, and I said, baby girl, first of all, you don't work enough hours at your job to be able to afford a penny. Okay. Second of all, I can't bail you out. Like if something happens, like I was like, I'm not grandma. Okay. I don't just have money sitting in the bank. I can't just buy things with cash. Okay. Unfortunately, I have lots of student loan debt for a job I don't even like to do. so,
yeah.
so like we're moving and was under this impression she wasn't coming. And I was like, that's sweet. That's sweet that you think that you could live without me because we have the most disgustingly codependent relationship. And I'm trying to undo that. But it's so hard because she just comes in my room and like just full bro boundaries. And she's like, I am your child. You are 17. Okay. Like, girl, stop. And the thing is though, the relationship I have with my kid, it bothers my mom so much
Because you're
because
close with her.
I'm close with her, because I let her walk around these streets in thought clothes. I took her to get her first tattoo. I took her to get her other three tattoos. I don't know where the hell she is sometimes. Like, I think I think it
Parent
was
of the year.
home. I know, I'm a really bad mom. It was homecoming, and like she didn't get home till 2 in the morning, and I can't remember which friend she was going at, but I knew like they're all of her friends are like in the same area, and I was like, she's over there with them. Like I don't necessarily need to know, and I do have her location, but I almost never look at her location because until she gave me a reason to not trust her, we didn't have to do that. She
Mm-hmm.
understood the consequences of not following the rules, and that works pretty well for me. Like, you have choices, dude. You have choices, and whatever you decide is up to you, but just know that if this is the choice you make, these are the consequences. So um she was definitely just kind of like allowed to just do whatever. Like we couldn't go anywhere on a school night. Um, our curfew was still like 10 p.m. on a Saturday or Sunday. Like I kid you not, begging to stay out till 11. And when I mean out, I mean literally on the street in front of my damn house
Mm,
so that we could play Manhunt. Because playing Manhunt in the dark is way funner than playing it in the sunlight where everybody can see
obviously.
everybody. Like,
Yeah.
so it was just, but we always like had so many restrictions. And I'm like, live your life. I was like, don't do cocaine because we don't know what's in it. I can't. I was like, I got to draw the line somewhere. I was like, no condom, no sex. Like these are life lessons that I'm just instilling on you. Please, whatever. But I'm the safe mom. All the kids call me. All the kids come over here. Um, they most I'm the youngest mom. Most of these kids' parents are like in their late 40s, almost 50, or like almost 60.
Out of touch.
I was like, I mean, do what you want. Like one of her friends got grounded for making out with her boyfriend, and I'm like, what did you think they were gonna do? I'm like, it wasn't like they were like naked and like having sex. Like they were. That's what they do. I was like, I mean, it's not my kid, but I'm confused. I want to know the logic behind this. But then I also
Mm-hmm.
recall being grounded for a year. And that was
What?
fun. Dude.
A whole year? So let me ask you this. Would you say you and your daughter are friends? It's not a gotcha question
So
either. I'm not
no,
leading you
no, no,
into.
no. No, I listen, I really could give two shits what people think about my parenting because my kid's alive and she's a great fucking kid. So I mean, do with that what you will.
Mic drop.
Um,
We can just end the whole
but
podcast right there. Just done. We're
it's
done.
like I don't believe in like parent shaming other people. Like you got to do what's best for your kid. Like if you don't want your kid to drink until they're 21, cool. That's fine. Like we let her experiment with things and it's not like this big deal, but also it's because it's within a safe container.
Yep.
It's in our house. It's
Yep.
not elsewhere. It's, you know what I'm saying? So I feel more comfortable letting her have those experiences because my only concern is something bad happening and she's taken advantage of because the ants will pull up with me. Okay. Just that's all we're going to say for legal reasons. That's all we're going to say because no, not my baby. But I would like I feel like she's always been like my friend. Like I used to joke and I was like, she's my little broke friend. Um, and now she's just my sort of broke, whiny, needs all of my attention as if she's an infant friend.
She's the
But
clingy friend now.
she's so clingy. And she she just cracks me up because the way that we talk to each other, people out in public are like, I thought you guys were sisters. That thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you. But no, I'm definitely her mother, and she just talks to me like she has absolutely no respect for me. I just take it at this point. But like she knows the line. Like she knows when I'm not playing. Like we're not going to do that right now,
She can
please.
read the room. That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a better way to parent than the conventional model that says you shouldn't be your kid's friend, you should be their parent. And I always push back on that because I said, who has more influence over your kids? The parents or the
Right.
friends, right?
Right.
So if you have a friendship, at the very least you have an opportunity to influence. Like I don't believe in that whole iron fist militant style of parenting. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just
No.
pushes the behaviors underground and you think you know your kids and you have no idea whatsoever what they're doing. At the very least, as a friend, you can keep those lines of communication open. Like you said, create the safe spaces for them to experiment and do it in an environment where they're not going to make some detrimental life choices that just completely ruin them for now.
Yeah.
To getting some pictures put up on the internet because you got too drunk, blackout drunk at a party or something, and then like at the house that's not happening. So I know you don't care about the outside opinions, but I applaud that approach, and I take a similar approach with my kids too. And I feel like I have unprecedented access to their little inner worlds because of that.
Oh God, the things that she tells me, I'm like sometimes I'm real happy for you, baby girl, but can we have that conversation with the aunts? I can't. We're not like there yet where mommy can handle this information. So go tell the aunts. They're waiting with bated breath. Me on the other hand, leave me out, and this bitch still put me in the group chat. I was like, okay, fine. I was like, I'm not here because I can't do this. But yeah, I mean like when I have girls nights, she is there. Like I like for my birthday, I was like you need to request off so you can come to my birthday. She literally like there's no me without her. And like when she leaves me for friends, I'm like, but I'm your mom, okay? Like, I gave birth to you. I feed you. I fuel your life. And she's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, seriously, it's fine. I was like, but I'm going to be lonely. She was out all day with her dad because he's in town. And I was like, is my kid coming home? Like, what? Where is she? What did they do? Like, did he go out of town with her? I'm so confused. So she finally comes home, and I was like, hi, how was your day? She was like, what's wrong?
Icing
I
her
was like,
out. Oh my
you
god.
left me all day. Didn't have anybody to talk to. So disrespectful. Um, yeah. So, I mean, we have a really good relationship. She's very open with me, and she comes to me first before she goes to her friends because she knows I won't judge her. And her
Hmm.
friends are not like the, we won't even get into that because I can't deal with those little bitches. But like, she just trusts me, and I have no problem. Like, there's nothing that she could tell me that would make me be mad at her. Like, I'd be like, dude, why you got to do this to me? I was like, okay, we'll figure it out. I guess, but whatever. Um, and I think that that is just hard for like my mom to understand because I think one of the things with her is she just doesn't know how to show love and affection in like a positive manner. Like in her brain, the picking on me and things like that is showing affection. And I'm like,
In
no.
what way? Like tough love in a like I'm hitting you in kindergarten because I really love you kind of way.
When I dyed my hair purple, this woman said to me, oh, you guys really like to dye your hair. What? 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 When I was at her house at Mother's Day, my sister finally gets there, and my daughter had been looking at like the family photo albums, which I could give two shits about, to be honest with you. I don't know those people. They're not my people. I don't care. I was like, the people that I like are the ones that live in my house, whatever. So um my sister comes, and like we were just talking, and I was like, yeah, I was like, we were looking at the photo albums, and my mom was like, you weren't looking at anything. You were just so rude.
What?
What? First of all, we're not talking to you. What? So this is why I haven't been back to her house since 2019. She we were standing there, like she was here and my sister was in front of me, and like my sister's talking, and then I'm like responding, and my mom doesn't like what I say, and so she waves her hand in my face, and I said, do not put your hand in my face like that. And then she did it again. I stormed out of the room, and I was like, the kids are here, so I can't. I was like, but we gotta go. Like, I can't. It's time to go. And she's like really mad that I won't come see her. First of all, I don't like driving. Okay. Nobody told you to move that far away. It's only 2 hours, but I just don't feel like doing it. Um,
Oh, so she's
and
not up the street anymore.
she's not, oh no,
I
that did
missed
not
that. I
last
missed
as,
that part of the story.
that did not last as long as she wanted it to. Like that moment, I was like, fuck the fact that I told you I was going to stay 2 years. I'm not staying here. I was like, because I'm no good to myself or my kid. Okay, like really being a mom, I never wanted kids. And then I had kids because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. This is like when I was still an insecure teenager. Um, but coming for me as a mom, like that is a hard thing for me because I didn't want to be like my mom once I became a mom. And so
Hmm.
I'm constantly like, am I being a terrible mom? Like, did I ruin this child's life? Did I give her trauma? Um, and it's really funny because she's definitely like, no. She was like, you didn't yell at me. She was like, well, you did. She was like, but you apologized after. Because I felt
That's big.
bad.
That's big.
I
Yeah, that's big.
felt terrible because I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, I didn't like being yelled at. I was like, and that was uncalled for. But I grew up in a house with a person with a short temper. So I learned these habits. Like there's
Hmm.
so many things I was trying to unlearn. Um, but yeah, anytime that I yell at her, it's always like, mommy is sorry. I need a minute. I was like, and then we will talk about why I'm so upset. I was like, but that was not fair. Um, and I think that's why we have such a good relationship because I do not alienate her. I do not treat her like she's less than. Like This isn't like some authority type thing. She's just a human that is younger than me.
Yep. That's my entire philosophy. Kids are people too, and they deserve to be treated with the same amount of respect that any human, any person wants to be
Right.
afforded. Like it's really not that
Right.
difficult. I don't believe in hitting kids. I did that once when I was dumb, young, dumb, and I cried afterwards, and I felt
Right.
terrible. Like really, and I was like, "Oh, we're not doing this again at all." So
No.
I completely feel you on that. Kids are people.
Yeah.
They're just people. They're not property. They're not objects to be controlled.
I called her a tiny human all
Yep.
the time. I was like, that's my small person. Okay. Like she is smart as a small person, and it made me realize how much people like alienate children. Like they're not dumb. Like one time she's like 3, 4, maybe she was 4 or 5, very young, but she was going through a dress phase and we needed to go, and I was like, I need you to pick a dress, because I always let her pick what she wanted to wear. I don't care, wear you want to, okay, just let's pick it. She wasn't picking, and I was like, okay, I'm going to narrow your choices down to these two. This child
Mm-hmm.
looks at me dead in the face and is like, no, these are all my choices.
Love it.
While that is true, mommy has taken them down to these two. And
Or
I'm
so
like,
she
in my
thought.
head, I'm like, bro, why am I arguing with a 4-year-old? I'm like, ah. It's like she's right though, but
And
it's
she's
just it's
winning, man. And she's
yes,
winning the
like
argument on top of that.
it was she, but she's so funny, like always very smart, asks a lot of questions, and I just, how could I ignore that? Like how could I make her feel dumb? Like and be like, no, these are your only choices. I was like, yes, you're right. These all are your choice, but we need to go. So I'm going to pick two for you and you pick from those two. She's like, okay.
And when you
But
break
like,
it down like that, she's like, all
it,
right, cool.
yeah, but it's just like, I'm like, well, she's not wrong. And so, but yeah, I actually told that story to my mom. She's like, why are you arguing with her? Just put her in a dress. I was like, this is why we're not friends, mom. This is why right
Mm-hmm.
here. This, these
Mm-hmm.
things like this.
It'll be interesting to see like your daughter a decade from now and how all the parenting choices that you made, how those kind of manifest into her adulthood and how she navigates the world. I'm looking forward to the same thing with my kids because I take the same unconventional approach with them, and I'm curious to see if history is going to prove me right or if they're going to be
Right.
completely damaged. You know what I mean? And I'll be
I'm
living in
like,
shame for the rest of my life. But at the very least, I know I'm going to have a good relationship with them into
mm-hmm.
adulthood, and it's not going to be some low contact, no contact type situation because I'm always going to continue to treat them with respect and try to guide them and influence and rather than dictate.
As long as she gives me respect, I give her respect. And even when she doesn't give me respect, I do look at her and I'm like, who are you talking to, babe? What, why, why are you doing that? She was like, I'm really sorry. I was like, oh God, please don't cry. I was like, I can't, don't, no, 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 because then I'm going to cry because I feel terrible. I made you cry. Like we're not going to get anything done. Please don't do this. Please, please don't do this.
Speaking of all the times when you're on threads and you say, "Oh, I'm crying now," or "Don't make me cry," are you really having an emotional moment?
Y'all get on my fucking nerves, okay? Because listen, hold on. And this is why I'm not editing, because I want like this stupid shit that like I don't think about, like forward thinking. I don't have that. I need to go turn on another light because it's getting really dark because the sun's going down and I didn't think about that ahead of time.
Ah,
So just hold on.
yep.
So you're just going to see me run away from the computer and, you know, move, Loki. We also just have really bad lighting in my house in general. So when the sun is still out, it like it messes everything up. So that's why I don't ever I hate artificial light, but that's besides the point. So, okay. I am an emotional person about like literally everything except for like when Mufasa died in The Lion King. Apparently, like I am a terrible human for not
That's
having
where you
cried
draw the
when
line. Oh my
I just
god.
did. I just didn't. I was like, I mean, it's sad, but I didn't. I'll tell you what I did cry about in a second. But here's the thing. I am so sincere, like whenever like I'm like, thank you guys so much, because nobody other than my best friends, like nobody's liked me. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
am constantly met with people who find me intimidating. And I was like, babe, I don't want your job. I just want to make our job easier. Like, trust me, I don't even want the job that I have here. Like, I'm not trying to come out after you. Um, and like I said, everything in high school felt super superficial. Like, I don't talk to any of those people, um, honestly. And my best friends now, met them both at work. My one best friend met her when we were working at Blockbuster. She hated me because I was bubbly and awesome and she was emo and dark and oh my god, I hate everything. And I was like, "No bitch, I like you. You're going to be my friend. You're mine
Ah,
now."
match made in heaven. Yep.
um and then my other friend, she's my work wife. Like, I met her at work, and I so the funny thing about me is that I'm really efficient, and that annoys people because that means that while I'm here for an 8-hour shift, I can go and bullshit for half of the day because I already did everything I needed to do. Um, but yeah, I was constantly at her desk. And so like her and I just like clicked. Her and I clicked when I came for the interview. Like, it was just immediate. And then my other friend, I met her through Nano before that went to shit. And like instantly, like, this was my soul like reflecting back at me, and I love this woman with all my heart and soul. And like, she lives in Texas, so like we don't get to see each other, but like we text all day, and when we don't text each other, it's like, I know you're busy and that's fine, and you're allowed to have things outside of me, but don't do this to me every day.
Yeah, but not really, but not
Yeah,
really.
it's like, but please don't do that. So like, but these people, like, they love me and they love me hard and they accept who I am. Like, I remember one time I decided we were going to go to the Grange, okay? And so I told everybody to wear comfy shoes. I didn't tell them what we were doing, okay? Cuz I'm just we're just all going to be surprised today.
Right.
I show up in 5-inch heels. They're like, I thought you said wear comfy shoes. Oh no, babe, you need to wear comfy shoes. I'm cool. I'm cool. I got this because I learned how in these shoes. Okay, so this is probably also like what I'm going to be wearing. So like in the like scenario in my brain, like that's what I would be thinking about. So anyway,
what
that was
kind
funny.
what kind of scenario are you in 5-inch heels where you need to rack off?
I used to work downtown, and I wore 5-inch heels to work, and I had to cross the street to get to the parking garage that I parked in,
Hmm.
and I don't go down there, okay? Like, unless I am with another person who can protect me, because please don't make me do this, bad guy, because I don't want to deal with the repercussions of what's going to happen after this. I was like, but I'm going home, so you need to make life choices.
So
um
are you packing? You concealed carry?
I do, and I know a lot of people hate me for that.
Why? Because of the whole political climate of guns and yeah, okay.
And see, but I'm not one of those people who carries is like, first of all, like, gung ho, let's go. I was like, you guys, I really
Right.
don't want to
The
ever have to use
AR-15
this.
slung over your shoulder while you're at
Like,
like McDonald's getting a Big
right,
Mac.
like, I don't want to have to use this. Like, this is like the last absolute resort for me. But then the other thing is, I'm like, I also one of those people who is like, yeah, I'm cool with extra checks. Not not a problem for me. Like, that makes sense because how easy it was for me to purchase one was just absolutely like, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
You just
Wh-
what?
When I was
I
18, I strolled into a Walmart and bought a shotgun. Like it was that easy. No background checks, no nothing.
right. Like, what is this?
And then the
Um,
Secret Service confiscated it years later, but that's a whole nother story. Were you around when I put that story on threads for like
I was literally like this.
it legitimately happened.
Oh my god, that's freaking hilarious. But yeah, whenever you guys compliment me, I am like trying not to cry because I have never, one, because you guys are strangers, so like you only know me through the things that I've said. And
Hmm.
then two, a lot of people on social media curate who they are online. And me, for the most part, there's only a few parts of my life that are private, but that doesn't change my personality. Like, what you see is what you get. Like, I will embarrass you in the middle of the freaking movie theater. Like, I started singing at the movie theater one time, and they were like, this is why we can't take you anywhere. You guys made me come outside. Okay, don't make me come outside because then I can't act right. Um, I was hitting on a girl who was our waitress one time, and I thought that it would be a really good idea to rap for her. Mind you, I can't rap, I have no flow whatsoever. But I did just learn all the words to Mac Miller, 100 Grandkids, and Hoodie Allen's Too Invested, and I was so proud, so proud. And so the part where he says DiCaprio, she was so impressed, just so impressed by the fact that I got that part. And I'm like, yo, thank you so much.
But did you get her
I can't,
number though?
no. and
need to
I,
need to
and
work on them bars then.
I was like, but I was like, dude, I can hit on men all day. Women, no, you guys are terrifying. I can't, I don't,
Yeah, welcome to
who are
our
you?
world. Jesus Christ.
I just don't like to be talked to in general. So like when people talk to me, it's really not a matter of like I'm not interested in like you as a person. I just really don't
You're just
want to
not interested in
talk.
people, period.
Right. It's like it's not a thing, sir. Calm down. Um Loved when I was dating though, like if I would like turn a guy down before like we even met, all of a sudden I went from being so gorgeous and so beautiful and so pretty
Oh
to
yeah,
you're just
you
an
you
ugly
ugly
fucking
ass
bitch.
bitch. Yep.
I was like,
That's the go-to.
babe, babe. I was like, who hurt you? Like, please calm down.
I didn't like your ugly ass anyway.
Right. I was like, listen, that's fine. I'm gonna put this in the suggestion box, and we don't open the suggestion box. So thank you for that. It's getting kind of full because of you, but I mean, whatever. I'll just get a new one. I'll throw this one in the fire. Um,
Your suggestion box is like my voicemail box right now. There's no room left in there whatsoever. I keep my shit on do not disturb too, just
the,
routinely around the clock. It drives people crazy.
people don't like not being able to have access to you 24/7.
Yep.
Listen, I don't need to be attached to you 24/7. Like I'll respond when I respond. But not gonna lie, this is a friend, like an old friend. She texted me January 1st.
Is she still waiting for a reply? But how do you prioritize who you actually respond back to and who like gets put on ice for a month or two?
The four people that are not on Do Not Disturb.
Ah, okay.
Everybody else, I'll get to you when I feel like it. Like,
Yep.
I mean, so my mom texted me the other day while I was in my nutritionist appointment, and I do them virtual, and I have text messages on my screen, and I was like, oh, Jen, hang on. I haven't talked to my mom in a week. She probably thinks I'm dead. If I don't answer this, she's gonna call me, and I can't. I don't have the spoons for her right now. So like I text her, I was like, I'm fine, mom. I'm busy. You know what time of month it is at work. My job is very predictable. Every month we have month end close. Every month I am busy the same days that I was busy the past month. And she's like, your papa. Like, we no longer call them mom or dad, it's papa and granny. Um, I don't know how that became a thing in my life, but yeah, she's like, your papa is scared. He thought something happened to you.
Do you feel like that's some sort of like manipulation when they play that card to get access to you?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And I'm like, first of all, Papa raised me, so he should know better that I know how to take care of my damn self. I'm fine. Um, but I was like, Mom, I was like, I'll call you later. And then she asked me like 2 weeks ago if I would buy her these books. I wasn't at a computer when she said it to me. When she asked me about it the second time, again, was not at a computer. The third, I've been clocking out of my day job and clocking into HBIC every fucking day until like 10 or 11 o'clock. If it's not my child, I don't know what's going on. I could care less. Mom, you'll get the book when you get the book. So she had called me because I told her to give me a call because I wanted to ask her something. And I said, she asked about the book again. I was like, I'm on the computer right now. Mom, I'm gonna
You can take care of it. It's fine. It's done. It's like, lady, you're not about to stress me out about a damn book.
But she can't order books, or is like she doesn't know how the internet works, or like what's that all about?
So years ago, she had her identity stolen, and that turned my already paranoid as shit
Mm.
stepdad into an even more paranoid person. He will not put any of his credit cards on Amazon because of data breaches. And I used to work at a bank, and I had to explain to them that it doesn't even matter if you have a card number. I said, they can generate random card numbers, and one day it might land on your card number. You don't have to use it anywhere. You could keep it sitting in a drawer. But if it's activated and they run and they get that card, that's what they're going to use. And he's like, I just still don't. I know. It's okay.
I
It's
mean,
okay,
even
Papa.
the fucking credit monitoring bureaus are having breaches at this point. So it's like nobody's safe.
Listen, listen, I, please, please, you want to steal my identity? Go ahead. Have fun with that. If you get credit somewhere, let me know so I can go too. Because I like have an eye on something and I just won't. I can't because I filed bankruptcy after my divorce because I was saddled with $30,000 in debt.
Hmm.
Um, and that sucked. And but the funniest part is I was the brokest that I had been in years, and I was so happy though. I was like content.
Just because you got all the debt and the sandbagging
Because
husband off your back, or
I didn't have to stress
you were
about
free.
pretending.
Yeah.
I was like I could be exactly the person that I felt like being. Now, granted, I backslid because stuff happens, and sometimes that happens. And so it wasn't until earlier last year, I was like questioning my whole entire life. And I was like, I can't do this coaching thing. It's not going to work. I'm over it. This is stupid. So I burned it all to the ground. Like I closed all my social medias, took everything down, just it was done. And then like I got some inspiration because I was hearing people talk really badly about themselves. I was like, don't talk about my friend like that. Like, why would you do that? Do you want me to come over there? Do you want me to use my mom voice? Because
Not the
I
mom
will.
voice.
I will do it. Okay. Um, the saying is always nobody wants mama to talk because that's when things it's like you don't need to be afraid of the male person. You need to be afraid of me because I am reckless. Reckless as shit. And like even more like towards the end of the year, I got so to the point where I was like, I don't fucking give a shit. I was like, my mouth is about to be so reckless. I was like, y'all need to tell me not to do this. I was like, because I don't know what's going to happen, but it's in the goddess's hand as far as I'm concerned. Listen, whatever happens is about to happen. I mean, like, I just recently yelled at my boss because she was not listening to me and she kept interrupting me. And she also told me how I should be feeling about something. And so, like, all the patience and all the anxiety that she had been causing me over months, like, I was having panic attacks 5 days a week. And I was
Yeah.
like, I kept talking to her boss, and I was like, I can't do this. I was like, you guys don't understand. I've already been in the psych hospital once from a job. I had to go out on leave for 12 weeks to go to an intensive outpatient program. Like everything that I'm feeling right now is the exact same thing. And also, I've already been in the hospital 2 times already this year. I've been in millions of doctors. I cannot do this. So I finally just got so irritated. And like, she was like, you're upset. So I don't, no, 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 babe, you're going to let me finish what I got to say. So then I called her boss and let him know exactly what happened because I'm not hiding what I did and I'm not apologizing for it either. I was like, she does not know how to respect me as a employee. And I don't need you asking me 50 million questions, babe. Don't, please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'm an
So
adult.
how does she respond?
She didn't. She deflected and got off the call. So now when she talks to me though, she tries to be a little less, but she still gets on my nerves. But what I said to myself, I was like, in 2024, we are not letting those people's job stress us out. I'm not doing it. So anytime like I get an
Those
email from
people's
her,
job. I've seen you
it's
say
not
that
my
before.
job.
Yeah,
It
I've
is
seen you
not
say
my
it
job.
before.
It is their job. I show up and do the work and I get a paycheck. That's not my job. But every time she sends me an email, I was like, lady, I am not dumb. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. And then I respond to her email, working on it. Or I'd be like, this is already done, but I didn't know you needed, and I didn't know you needed to review it. So that's why I didn't tell you, but sure, go off, lady. Um, and I also am really happy that she did review it. And then somebody emailed me and was like, hey, this formula is not dragged down. Oh, really? You, she missed this? How? How interesting. So yeah, I'm really excited on Monday to send that email to her.
What do you do for a living? Is that something you can
I'm
share?
an Yeah, I'm an accountant.
An accountant. Okay. I need some help with my taxes. Do you work in that
I
arena
can't
at all?
I cannot do taxes. That's the one thing I can't do. But like if you want me to input like your expenses and your shit in QuickBooks, like I can do that. Like that's easy. That's literally what I do. Like all day is just
Yeah, no, I got that. Does the IRS watch your podcast? Because I'm like 3 years behind on filing my please, please don't report me and
I
go for that little they have like a
listen, I'm
reward, don't
not.
they?
Do they have a reward? Shut up. Listen,
Yeah, I
the
think I
way
think they
that
do.
the way that I feel about the IRS is unmatched annoyance. So I had to last year up how much they had to take more money out of my paychecks because I was like, I will not fix my hand to write a check to the IRS. I was like, you can keep all this money all year long just so you can give it back to me, or I can break even. I don't care. But if you say I owe you $1, I would have to get my child to write the check. I can't. I can. For what? For what reason? What do you need any more money from me for?
Hmm.
Um,
I could go off on a whole tangent on this subject. I'm not going to, but I have a deep rooted hatred for the IRS and to a lesser extent this country as a whole. And I know that this is supposed to be the land of the free and the great and opportunity and all of that, but I really don't want to get too far off the rails here because for the same reason that you don't want to talk about guns too much because there are people online who will defend taxes and the IRS,
oh
and
yeah,
I've seen the conversations and I try to steer clear of that stuff because nothing good ever comes out of engaging with people on that level online. People have their minds made up and they're like they attach their identities to their beliefs around these things, and it just gets messy. But you're taking my money and using it to fuel war, and I feel some kind of way about that. You know what I mean? I really I don't like that me just working in this country contributes to bombs falling on kids. I feel some kind of way about that. So in protest, I just stopped paying my tax. Well, no, I stopped filing my taxes because they still take the money out of the checks. And at some point, I'm gonna get one of those strongly worded letters, and
or yeah,
I've been bracing for that for like the past couple of years. But then a part of
yeah.
me is like, let's see how much I can break this matrix, and just like see how far it goes. Maybe they just stop fucking with me altogether. Maybe I just like reduce my withholdings just to push the envelope
Yeah.
and see how far this
Yeah, they're
really
just
can go.
like, we're not worried about this guy.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
turned into one
like,
of those sovereign citizens that like doesn't even use license plates anymore. I just put like a cardboard paper in the back window that says sovereign, and the police pull me over. I just hand them like a not even an ID card, just a piece of paper that says you can't question me.
right, yeah.
I'm getting to that level of just unhinged, and it's scary, but it's fun at the same
It's
time.
hard, but it's so hard. And it's like every time, because like I don't really follow politics all that much because I'm not going to sit here and like pretend like I know anything about any of this. And I feel like I'm allowed to take that emotional labor off of myself because it's
That'll
too
get
much.
you canceled too, just for saying that. It's your
I
civic
know,
duty.
but like I have trusted individuals who can be unbiased and explain to me all sides and give me the information and knowledge that I need to know to make an informed choice. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how I roll into like elections. That's how I roll. But I'm not about to sit here and consume it. But
I don't vote, and I'll cancel me now for
fair,
saying that. I
fair.
I don't believe it makes a difference. I truly believe that all those decisions are made at higher levels, and we just have the appearance of choice. It's an illusion. That's my personal belief. And it's like, what difference does it make anyway? Republican, Democrat, Trump, Biden, who the fuck cares? Like, nothing really changes under these
Right.
administrations. It's still just a shit show. It's just at least Trump, to me, at least he was entertaining, now people probably stone me for saying that, but I'll say this, a lot of people don't know that the Trump administration did more for minorities than Joe Biden, and probably Obama as well, if I really went back and checked the record. And so it's like,
Yeah.
people make these black and white statements, and take these positions, and don't look at the nuance of things, and they think that the same system that creates oppression, if I can use that charged word, like there are people who are oppressed by the system in which we live under, right? And people think the same system that creates that oppression is going to fix it. You need the right face. I don't agree with that. So I don't vote.
Look,
Cancel me.
like, let's just burn it all to the ground. Honestly, I will reign supreme. Um, because anything, anything would be better than right now.
Queen of the wasteland. I love it.
I'm just like, I like have a whole thing. I was like, I'm like gonna have like a crown made of bones of my enemies. I was like,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
I was like, I'm gonna have like this badass like throne that's also made of the bones of my enemies, because I probably have a lot of them. And at some point, I'm going to get banned on Threads because, again, my mouth is reckless, and Instagram constantly says, hey, this is similar to other posts that have been reported. Do you still want to? I said what I said.
The answer is always
Post
yes.
anyway.
Post that
Like,
shit. Yep. Post
what
that
do
shit.
you mean? I was like, you didn't say this about 2 posts ago. Like, why are you so angry about this one? But I honestly, I don't know how there are 300 people who are following me, and I've only had like 2 people who have been unkind to me. I have no idea how that's possible.
And so you've got 300 loyal Spartans just ready to go to war for you.
Honestly, I was having this conversation with a friend, and I was like, listen, because there was like some drama around some things, and somebody was talking shit about me, and I was like, you know what though? I didn't have to manipulate these people into following me. I did not have to manipulate these people into asking me, what do you coach on? I just showed up one day, just loud and fucking out there, and people were like, I like her. I don't
Yep.
know why, but I like her. You know?
I like her because she's loud and out there. Because you know what? It validates me, and it makes me feel more comfortable showing up in that same way. Like the
That's
the
what
more
everybody keeps saying.
yeah, the more you unmask, the more it creates a safe space for me to unmask. And then you just
Yeah.
pay that forward. And then the next person sees me doing that, and they go, oh, okay, maybe I can get in touch with my true self as well. And that whole
Yeah.
unmasking journey, that's a doozy, because there's so many layers of like social conditioning and
Mhm.
programming, and you being nice, and how you're supposed to show up in the world. And I've been pushing back against that hard over the past couple years, and it feels good. It feels
Yeah.
good, but at the same time, it's been a little bit scary, because I also have had that experience of not being accepted, stemming way back into the childhood years.
Mhm.
So mixed ethnicity. Dad was black, mom was white. I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, and so I got called. You see the texture of my hair. I got called white
Yeah.
boy all the time as an insult, and then I'd get around the other race, and they'd use
Yeah.
other words to describe me. It's like doesn't fit anywhere. And so I always grew up just feeling like never enough, doesn't fit in anywhere. And I learned
Mhm.
how to become a social chameleon, to adapt, to become
Yeah.
likable. And over the past few years, I've been trying to like unwind all of that, and it's been a mind fuck, but it's worthwhile
So
work.
it's so funny because I always would make jokes. There's two things. When I laughed earlier, it was not at what you were saying. It was because I had a thought about when I started to unmask. I was still working in an office, and I don't I don't want to talk before 10 o'clock in the morning, and I especially don't want to talk if I haven't had my damn coffee. Like, why are you talking to me? I started growling at people. Like
Literally.
legit, I'm in the office and I would growl at people. I would be like,
Hold on, what's your, yeah, okay. Yeah.
and like it just became a thing. Like everybody was like, no, don't talk to her yet. But there were certain people who could talk to me before coffee because I was friends with them outside of work. And people were so confused. But like my one friend, Michael, I swear to God, love him to death. He's such a big dork. But like, bro would come in like so happy. Sir, you, first of all, you have 8,000 children. So I don't understand where all this energy is coming from. Okay.
It's
Second of
delirium.
all, like you had to get up and come here. And there's not people would be like, "Good morning." There's nothing good about it. They were like, "But you're alive." I would rather be alive at home in my bed because I've been up
Facts.
since 5:30 and I'm not a morning
Jesus
person.
Christ. I was just
They
gonna
were
ask,
like, "Why
are you
you?"
nocturnal? Like naturally?
I'm I'm not. I don't like either. I quite frankly, I don't know
You
if
just
it's the
don't like
bipolar, the
existing.
depression. I just don't want to exist some days. Like,
Hmm.
please just let
I
me
feel it.
be.
I feel it.
Um, but the other thing, shit, I forgot. Um, but
Michael and his
as
eight
soon as
thousand kids.
Michael, just love him. He's like my big brother that I don't have. He's so funny. Um, but yeah, like I would just go to his desk for like the first 2 hours of the day and just sit there. I didn't bring my laptop. I was just talking shit for 2 hours. And people were like, "How are you getting all your work done?" I don't know what y'all are doing, but this shit doesn't take that long. Like, why is this taking you so long? This is like a 15-minute task.
Hmm.
What? I, Tell me your process. Let me help you.
I would. Well, can you help me, because it takes me about 3 hours to do a 15-minute task, and that's because it takes 2 hours and 59 minutes for me to like get myself to get started on the task. The task itself just takes a minute, but
so,
the
so you're
startup process.
okay. So I had this bright idea that I was going to create an app.
Hmm.
I don't know anything about coding. I don't know anything about creating an app. Literally for 4 hours, I'm sitting here just like what I was like, okay, I see the instructions that you have given me, people, but it's not doing what you said it's supposed to be doing. And this is why I don't get anything done because I am a manifesting generator in human design, and I am a multi passionate person who can have 18,000 projects open at the same time. Also, bipolar. So it's so fun being me. So much fun. So all day today, I have been trying to do things, but I keep going back to figure, like, I was like, okay, but I'm so close. I was like, because I got the test screen and it looks just like their screen. But why is the next step not working? Yeah. So this is what I do. Um, and that's similar to the process of me getting ready. It's like, oh, I'm going to just sit here and I'm going to create a playlist for us to listen to on the way, as if I don't have 200 and something playlists already that I could pick from. And then I'm getting text messages, woman, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I'll be fine. Literally every time they come, I'm still in my underwear. I was like, I'm so sorry. I just, do we have to go outside? I just don't, I feel like it's too peoply outside.
Yeah.
Too peoply.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like limiting outings is what I do. Like I have a concert on Wednesday next week. It's a meet and greet. So fucking excited about this concert, dude. Um,
Who's the concert? Like, who's performing?
daily, daily.
Nope, never heard it.
It's it's okay because nobody's ever heard of half of the music that I listen to. I
What
just live in.
genre is, like,
He's
is
like
it?
R&B.
Okay.
He's a British American uh, white guy, and I died like when I because he doesn't even look anything like he sounds. Like, he's got curly red hair. He's freaking adorable. But like, that was not what I was thinking of. But anyway, yeah, I listen to a lot of different things, but I listen to like a lot of smaller indie artists, um, because for some reason I like to be in my feelings all the time, all the time. Don't know why. Like, nothing could be happening. Like, I could be in a perfectly healthy relationship and I'm over here screaming like, I don't want you no more. And people are like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Like, because you're singing that with your whole chest. I'm fine, but like, don't you feel that? I
Yeah.
think a lot of it comes from like when I was a teenager, I was very numb. Like, I
Yep.
didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Um, and so like, I guess I don't want myself to ever forget that. Like, there's times when I will be so pissed off and I have to drive somewhere, I will turn my music up loud enough to where I can feel the bass so that I know that I can feel something.
Hmm.
And the best part about this is because I don't care. I will pick up my child in her cheer uniform from a game, blaring my music. Like, the last time, it was Friends Like These by ZZ Ward, and literally everybody starts coming out when she says bitches and hoes. And I was like,
Nice. The
she
queen
came to
of
the
the
car.
wasteland has arrived.
She came to the car and she was like, "Why is your music so loud? Because you know who I am as a person. Why is my music not loud? Like, it should be louder." She was like, "I can see you vaping out the window." Ma'am, I am not a teenager.
She's going mom mode on you.
she she's like, "But you're not supposed to." What are they? They're gonna give me detention, babe? They're scared of me. All of them are scared of me. Like,
Hold on. I actually have a story about this. So I did a career day at my kid's school. This was a while back, and
uh-huh.
I winged the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'm taking us on a little side quest here, real
No,
quick.
you're
I'm sorry to
fine.
interrupt your story. Blame the neurodivergency in me. Please, we're going to get back to
I,
the
I
vaping
get
and
it. No, it's
all right.
fine.
So I'm doing this career day and winging the entire thing because of course I didn't prepare because why the fuck would I? And I get up there and I start talking about all of the people who were successful that never went to college, or never graduated college. Everybody from Bill Gates to Jay-Z, and a whole bunch of different examples. And I'm like, yeah, Bill Gates, the billionaire, never finished college, but the people that he worked for, the people that work for him did. So you want to be an employee or do you want to be the boss? Anyway, so by the time I had finished my presentation,
Hmm.
a call came over the intercom, and it was the office at the principal's request asking me to come down and see the principal. And so, and so I'm in the office. I go down to the office, and the principal starts reprimanding me. What are you telling my babies? You telling them that they don't have to get education and all. So anyway, long story short, I was like this close to actually getting detention as a full adult, just visiting the school. So it could happen. That's the moral of the story. It could happen. But then I had, after that, got a chance to go to lunch with the kids, and then there was this one kid that we're going really off the rails now. There was this one kid that was sitting at a table all by himself, and so and I'm sitting with my son and some of his friends at their table. I'm like, "What's up with that guy over there?" And they say, "Oh, that's Smelly Jerome or whatever his name was, and he's the school bully apparently, and he is known for having body odor." And I'm like, "I want to go talk to this guy and see, what his deal is." And apparently he had been bullying my son too, but I wasn't coming at him on some old protective dad shit. It was just, I just wanted to connect with him and see if I can connect with
Yeah.
him and better understand. So anyway, so I go over to the table. He's sitting there by himself. And I'm like, "What's up, dog?" And so we start talking. And then one of the kids that was at the table with my son, they see me talking to this guy and we're kind of laughing and having a good time. So then he comes over casually. Then another kid comes over. And then, full next thing you know, we got a table full
Everybody.
of people and everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's actually kind of cool." And I was able to broker a truce between the bully and all the people that were being bullied. And he never messed with my son for the rest of the year. And from what I was told, didn't really mess with any of the other kids too. And it's just like, that's interesting. Is sometimes people just need other people to reach out and
Yeah.
let them know that it's okay.
Yeah, no, I get that because like I've been so I wasn't popular, but I wasn't a nerd or anything like that in high school. I had friends in every group. I was like somewhere in the middle where like everybody would talk to me. But anyway, like the emo kids, there was this one guy and like these people would make fun of him all the time. And again, like I said, I was terrifying. Like I made a boy cry and I broke a guy's nose and allegedly blew up a car. Like I was a
Allegedly.
terribly, terribly terrible teenager. Allegedly. Listen, there's I it's
Yeah.
an alleged claim, so I don't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry for him though, because it was a nice car, but I was at home because my mother would have killed me if I was not at my house. What, sir? First of all, I wasn't even allowed to have a boyfriend. I don't know you, so leave me alone. But anyway, they were picking on him one time at lunch, and like I turned around and like my chair flipped back, and they're like jumping, and I was like, leave him the fuck alone. What is your problem? And they were like, but he, no, no, what we're not gonna do. And this was like around the time of like Columbine too. Like they were making fun of him as if he was the school, like going to be the next school
Mm.
shooter. And
Hmm.
I was like, I asked him, I was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Do you want to sit with us? You can sit with us." I was like, "We're kind of boring. I just eat Pop Tarts every day, and we don't really talk about anything." And I was like, "But you can sit with us." I was like, "Cause I no." I was like, "As long as I'm here, we're not doing that." Um, and then like later in class, they were like, "Why did you stick up for him?" I don't know. Why are you fucking being a dick shit? Okay, like what is wrong with you?
That's a new one, addiction. Okay.
I will make up any word that I want to.
Love
Like
it. It's your world.
I, I just don't care. Um, but yeah, no. See, the thing is that I keep that reckless energy of 18-year-old me when it comes to talking to her school because
Hmm.
they think because I'm young, this is a constant thing that I've had throughout my entire
Yep.
adult existence, that
Yep.
I don't know anything.
I'm already hip. I'm already hip.
And I'm like, I was like, first of all, you guys don't understand who raised me. Like, I know how to change oil in a car. I know how to rotate my tires. I know how to change a tire. I can't ever get them off because the lug nuts are too tight and I don't have that kind of hand strength, but like I could do it if I could get the lug nuts off. Like, I know how to check the fluids of my car. I know how to drive a stick shift in 5-inch heels. I am fine, people. I
With
am.
a in your lap, ready to just spin the block. Oh boy.
Oh, that would be a sight. Um, but like the the counselor was not responding in a way that made me feel as if she was doing her job. Um, and she ignored me. Like I was trying to get information to help my kid get a 504, and she was like, "I don't really see a reason for her to need a 5. I don't care about that. Like there are reasons." I was like, there are children who have 504s who have less diagnoses than this.
What
So,
exactly is a 504 for the less
do
educated
you
of
know
us?
do you know what an IEP is? It's like
I am familiar with that. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a 504, but it's like a step down. It doesn't have as many like hard and fast rules. It's more like kind of like just specific general things, and it
Mm,
only applies to her teachers, not the whole school building like an IEP would. Like
okay.
everybody would have to follow the IEP, but only the teachers needed to follow the 504. But she was like, "Well, all her teachers said that her grades are great." I said, "Stephanie, I just emailed you 15 emails from her teachers saying that there's 3 weeks left of school and Jordan is failing. What do you mean she's doing well? Of
Mm.
course she's doing well when she turns it in." I was like, "But clearly she can't get it done." And she's like, "Oh, I was not aware of this." So ghost me completely. We're getting up on the school year. Have no idea what's happening. Like, is she getting this 504? Like, what? I'm not letting her go in here and have a panic attack because you guys won't do anything. So I sent a message to the principal and I threatened to go to the school board, not the school board, like the Department of Education of the state for all of schools.
Hmm.
Immediately.
Oh,
Immediately.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
like, you guys.
Not just the school. We're just going to skip the school board altogether. We're going
Nope.
to the head honcho.
I was reporting them to the state, and they don't want that because then they'll be audited. And I hate it for you. I used to be an auditor. I know what we're like. It's not fun. So, hate that for you. So
Mm,
either fix it or I gave him 24 hours. I was like, you have 24 hours to resolve this situation. I was like, because I feel like nobody has taken this seriously, and the ball was just dropped. And like, she tried to blame it on the fact that it was in May. I really need people to stop coming for me, because one thing that my stepdad did do right was tell me never to argue unless I know I'm right. So, like, if I'm going to argue with you, I know, like, I have evidence to back me up.
hmm
So when she said that, I forwarded her the email that I sent originally at the beginning of April. And then I attached the email that she finally replied to me on at the beginning of May.
Per my last email. I love it.
So I keep receipts. I keep a
Did you get your
CYA
results?
folder
Did you
everywhere.
get
I
your
did.
504?
She got it, and it was so funny when we were sitting in her office discussing it. She was trying to be so nice, and I was like, "I don't like you, babe. We no longer are respectable terms, ma'am. So I'm just gonna need you to do what you need to do, okay, so that my child can effectively enter the school year."
Mm.
And then my child was like having panic attacks anyway, which I told her was going to happen. I was like, you shouldn't have gone back because you hated it before. That's why we went virtual. So she was like, can I graduate early? I don't care. She was like, can you email Steph? I
Your
don't want to talk to this
BFF.
lady.
Your new
I was like,
BFF.
she was like, I don't want to talk to her either. I was like, God, I was like, why are we like this? So yeah, I emailed Stephanie, and she was like, yeah, she can graduate. She just needs to come see me. I was like, cool, bet, love that, because I'm so tired of y'all.
Yeah, the school system, they talk about the school to jail pipeline, and have
Yeah,
you ever heard of that?
yes, yes.
And I've been inside of both jails and schools, and they are eerily similar in terms of the way that they're structured, in terms of like the kids have to walk in a straight line, not high
Hmm.
school, but like the early on when
But
the
like
when
early
the
on, yeah.
programming is really like implanted, and it's the same thing in the jails. You got to follow single file line, and it's crazy. I don't understand our education system in this country. And oh, by the way, my we're gonna have another technology fail here soon when my AirPods run out of battery. So, but they were fully charged before we started. So I don't know what's gonna happen when I get that little doo 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 sound. So anyway, but yeah, I don't understand the education system in this country. Like the half of the shit that they teach in school is completely useless and doesn't apply to life whatsoever. Why? What's the point? What's the point? Why are we still doing this like this? Like, why hasn't somebody figured out a whole new entire way to like revolutionize the education system that actually prepares people for the real world when they graduate? Even college doesn't do that. It's just a whole bunch of theory. Like you have professors teaching business that have never ran a business a day in their life. Like it's
Hmm.
all
Yeah.
theory, nothing practical. But there's something that you mentioned earlier that I wanted to touch on. You said you wanted to, like, you were emotionally numb for a while, and now you're feeling the feels. And I'm going through something similar. And this is recent for me. So like within the
Okay.
past 6 months or so,
Yeah.
I went from emotionally numb to wide the fuck open, feeling all the feels, crying in bonnets and posting it on threads, like say like we're
Listen, we love the transparency though.
yeah, but that it's a new experience. So I can relate to what you're saying when you're like, I want to feel things because I know what it's like to be numb. When how long ago did you start to like kind of transition out of that apathy and that numbness to a state where you're like, yeah, I want to feel sad even though I'm in a great relationship?
So, I mean, I guess the thing is I've always kind of been like this because I've always liked lyrics in songs. Like I used to write songs when I was younger, and then my mom smashed that dream to hell. I wanted to be a singer smashed, photographer, smashed. And so like I always listen to songs and like they would crack a little bit of my wall, but not
Yeah.
so much. So music has always been healing for me though. Like I'm fully convinced that even though I still wasn't feeling anything, it kept me going so that I could get to a point where I would feel something. And so at a certain point, I think it was like when we were trying to figure out like who I am as a person. And I was like, I'm not feeling anything. And my therapist was like, it takes a lot more courage to feel things. And so, like, I kind of opened myself up to be hurt, to allow things to happen. And it sucked because it was like, oh, oh,
Yeah.
but once I like learned to like process that, I mean, this was like probably like my late 20s because I think I got divorced in 2014. I can't do math in my head, so I don't know. I'm 37 today, so I don't know.
It's an
But
easy
anyway,
10, easy 10,
is
27.
it?
Yeah, I mean, depending on like the month. So,
No, no,
not
no, no.
9 to 10 years.
2014. 2014
Right.
is when I got
Which
divorced.
was 10 years ago.
Oh, we're in 2024. See, this is how I live my life. Oblivious.
This is what I'm here
See,
for.
listen,
I'll fill in the
I
blanks
just
for you.
like I'm like, what day is it? What year are we in? I just don't know, you know. And I will probably be 37 for several months because I forget how old I turned. And you want to know how I remember how old I am? By how old my child is.
Mm. Hey, if it works, it works.
Because I don't. I otherwise I couldn't tell you how old I am.
Was was therapy the catalyst for you starting to be able to feel your emotions?
Yeah.
Like, did your therapist just say something and you started bawling, and then like that was it?
So it wasn't something that she said, but like around this time, I had found this artist, Banks. God, I love her so much. And like, she's the last artist on my list that I need to meet. And I'm just so sad. But anyway, that's besides the point. She had a song called Waiting Game that I really liked. And then she released her album, and on there was called Goddess. And this was like in the time frame of the separation and the divorce. And I was going through like all of these feelings. Like, I wasn't, by the time I asked for the divorce, I had already mourned the relationship. But I am still trying to process just like how this is going to change my life. And that song was the first song that I heard where like my heart ached. Like, it's not a sad
Mm.
song. It's like legitimately like, you fucked up because she's a goddess. And like, but my heart ached because I was like, yes, that's me. Like, that's how like I was. And so anytime, like, I mean, I have people know how my mood is based on what songs I'm listening to.
Hmm.
Like, if I'm listening to Christina Aguilera, somebody died. Like, something's very, very wrong because we don't pull out Christina until something's wrong. If I'm listening to Banks, I'm probably angry and I'm probably trying to reclaim my power in some way where I felt like it was lost. Like the other day when I made that post about um like people not seeing me or whatever, I was furious. Furious. So I was listening to Banks and my daughter like walks in the room and she's like, "What is happening?" I was like, "It's my favorite part, okay? Like just wait 2 seconds." Um but yeah, I mean, I my emotions are highly tied to music. I get that from my dad. Um Apparently he made my mom like listen to music the whole time she was pregnant with me. And
Oh, that's
I don't
interesting.
know science, but like I live and breathe music. Like, people who don't enjoy music at the level that I do, I find confusing. And like I know that's not fair, but like, well, what do you like?
That was me until recently. Although I've been making music for years, I don't really listen to much of it. But now I'm rocking Drake's new album and feeling all the feel. Are you Drake? Like, he's a polarizing guy. You either love him or hate him.
I don't have any feelings because I remember Drake when he was on Degrassi.
Degrassi, yeah, I
Cause
see
like
that.
that, I was like, sir, you are Jimmy. That's who you are. Okay, you're not. Don't you? Who are you? Who are you trying to impress?
But he's got some good mood music though. that for me, like I can relate to what you said when you're like life's going good, but sometimes I just want to put on some sad shit and just feel things. That's my
Yeah,
experience listening to some of his stuff.
I have a whole playlist of like songs to make you feel.
I'm gonna need that. Are you a Spotify girly or Apple Music or what?
So I'm a Spotify girly because this I got Spotify like in the early phases of Spotify, and I came from like my giant ass iPod where I had all these playlists and stuff and like curated my music. So I tried Apple Music because I never want to necessarily just like shoot something down without giving it a try. I also tried Apple Music, or not Apple Music, Amazon Music, and that
Mm-hmm.
interface is just like I don't understand this. But Apple Music did not give me recommendations that were close to anything I would ever listen to. My release radar type of thing on there sucked. I was like, who are these people? I wouldn't listen to this shit. Um, there's Spotify knows me so well. Like it's disgusting. Like last night, I don't know what mood I was in, but this this is why I can't with Spotify, because first of all, where do you come up with these names for these day lists? But it was something like mall goth Friday evening. And it like so none of these songs were like songs when I was a teenager, but like it was, I think it was like emo mall goth, and I was like, but I suddenly felt like a teenager. Like I felt content. Like I felt like being a teenager in that moment. And so like I fell asleep with the playlist going on loop. And I mean like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. Like it wasn't calming music. But like I don't know.
And this is
I'm not
what you
really
sleep to. Nice.
I listen, I used to listen to the easy listening, okay? And I would fall asleep with my radio on. I used to fall asleep to NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. I'm a boy band girly at heart. I'll never change. Don't ask me to. Um, and I just I just love music so much. And I don't like when you came on originally, like I had my music on because I can't sit in silence. That's weird. And not like I can't sit in silence with people, but like if I'm by myself, I can't get anything done if there's no music. I need it.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, no. I I'm a very weird person. But this is so I said all of these things to round out that that's what a baddie is.
I love it. I love it. I love
So if
it.
you need some advice, like play this back because I've got a lot of things to do. Just there's so many steps, but I love therapy. I'll never stop because the thing is that yes, I've learned skills, and for the most part, I can manage difficult situations that are similar. But sometimes my brain just short wires, and it's like I don't know how to help me.
It's interesting because I had the complete opposite experience with therapy, and I tried like a half a dozen therapists at least because they say you got to date around before you find your person, and each one and you got to tell the same stories over and over again and give the same background and the same history and the context
I
as you're
need to
dating the new
know these
ones.
like I need to know these therapists because like I've never started like over when I switched therapists. I just started right where I am.
Right,
We can
but
go.
how does that work though? They don't have any context.
She didn't need any context because I tell a lot more things than I actually say.
Okay. My brain is kind of
So
exploding trying to understand what you're saying here.
so I will say things and I'll say them in a way to allude that there's something more. And I like to just love this with my therapist. I like to just run through all of the things that I don't really want to talk about, but this bitch hears me every fucking time. And she's like, so earlier you said, I was hoping you didn't hear that, but okay, I guess we're going to talk about it now. But I've never started at the beginning. I start what the current issue is, what my goal is in therapy, and they pick apart what I'm saying,
hmm
and that's how they gain their context. But if
hmm
I can't ramble for like 10 minutes, you're not going to even be able to therapize me. Okay. Like, because I'm going to forget everything when you start asking questions. Um, but also there's different types of therapy. There's like talk therapy, CBT, and my therapists have always been CBT. I'm not familiar what a talk therapist would be like. Um, and like I always feel like so annoyed when people are like therapy didn't work for me, and I was like, no, you're the problem.
I
But
am the problem. It's true. It's true.
but I also understand like it's hard to find good mental health professionals. I have been so lucky at each turn. Like my first psychiatrist, great. My next psychiatrist, great. Like I didn't have to date around. Like when it was time for me to change because of a move or whatever, the first time it was right. Um, but like when I went and had my little fun in the behavioral hospital, I sat there and I was like, this is why people don't get help. Like I was so heartbroken at the way that they treated people and the way that they didn't even try to help them. Like this
Mm.
man came to me and was just like, we're going to change your meds to this, and this. First of all, no. You can call my psychiatrist. We just changed these yesterday. I'm not, I don't, none, I can't. I like to know what medicine I'm taking. Like I need to know the side effects. I like to know that. And I want to be on the minimum dose as possible. And whatever that man was saying, I was like, who, listen, I know that I may be here, but I'm not, you're not, no, we're not doing that. But he tried to get me to stay for a week because I refused to take his medicine when I was better 2 days later. Like the nurse had to go get my social worker and explain to him that I did not need to be there anymore, that I had a plan and I was fine. But in that moment, that's when I realized I was like, okay, bitch, you've been so privileged. God damn you. Like, just check your privilege, hoe. So, like, I was like, I understand everyone now. I understand everybody who's complaining about it, who doesn't have access. And because it's like, these are the doctors that they just
Right.
like treat people.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
like what? So I like, sometimes I do think the person is the problem, based on the way that they say therapy didn't work. When you ask them if they tried to do the exercises and the homework and the work, and they were like,
I see. I never got any of that. That I would
"Oh,
never any homework,
your
never any
therapists were
exercise.
terrible." You
Yeah,
know what? Listen,
that's my point.
you, listen, we can talk offline about this, but I'd be happy to like send you some resources, the different types of therapy, because I'm all about therapy, and but I also know that like if you're not with the right therapist, God, how many therapists are out here not giving homework? Like this is not the first time I've heard this.
At least 6 of them. I'll tell you that much.
Dude, this bitch like creates workbooks for me sometimes.
That's love.
I was like, please don't. She was like, I need you to do the workbook. I was like, she was like, my process is to protest and then just do the thing. But I always
Hmm.
have to protest. And I was like, but see, I just feel like maybe we could just talk about it. And I don't want to explore this further after we get off this call. She's like, that's exactly why you need to do it. I was like, fine, I'll do it, but I'm not going to like it. And she's like, you don't have to like it. You just need to do it. And I was like,
Just
okay.
fucking do it. Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like with all of my like life experience and all of that stuff, it's made me understand myself in such a way that I'm like naturally curious about other human beings. And I'm also like super curious about like why people don't like themselves. Like, who hurt you? Like, seriously, like, who hurt you? Because that's not your belief, that's their belief.
Yeah. I
And
believe that like all the negative voices inside of our heads are just things that other people implanted just over
yep,
the years, stuff that we picked up, not
yeah.
stuff that's just inherently ours. I have a question for you though. Maybe this is an ignorant question, because you disclosed the whole bipolar thing, and I don't quite know how that works. But I'm just gonna be messy here and ask it. Are you happy?
Am I happy? Yeah,
Hmm. Like in life,
yeah,
you're happy.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I have days where I'm like, oh, why did I make these life choices and now we're here? But like, I am genuinely happy. Like, I have a good life. I have a good family. I, I, I don't really have things to complain about other than like my health sucks a lot of times, but I'm still here. I feel like I live out of spite at this point, but I am. I'm really happy. Listen, my mother used to tell me that I wasn't going to make it to 30. So something's fueling my life, but I am. And honestly, I would not change a thing that I did. I would not change finding out about my diagnosis. I would not change taking medicine. Because I am pro medicine, but I'm also not pro taking unnecessary medicine because there's a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Um, but like if I'm not on my medication, I can't function. Like I literally can't, and people
It
don't
really
seem
makes
to
that much of a
understand.
difference.
Yeah,
Wow.
like people literally do not understand that it's not I won't. My brain and I are having a fucking argument right now why I need to get out of this bed to go to work, and
Hmm.
it's winning because my body's not moving, and it manifests in like my gut health, like I get migraines, like it's a whole process. So I don't not take my medicine anymore because that's scary, um, for all
Hmm.
parties involved. Um,
I've been
I don't.
anti-meds for, ever. So it's interesting to
Have you been
hear.
diagnosed with anything? I have my thoughts on that if you want to know.
Yeah, yeah, please. That's what we're here for, right?
Okay, so I'm not like, yes, everybody who has ADHD needs to be medicated. And I'm not like, yes, nobody should be medicated. I think ADHD is one of those things where before you try medication, you see if you can learn new things to manage those symptoms. And if that doesn't work, then okay, maybe like, um, maybe like just think about going with the flow of like feeling into what you're feeling and the symptoms that you're having and so on and so forth. Because my daughter was diagnosed with ADHD and I was not putting her on medication immediately. I was like, we're going to wait. Like, what are my other options? Um, I do think that she could benefit from medication now. Um, but that's a whole fight with her psychiatrist. It's a whole conversation for another day. Um, but at the same time, any medication that they were going to put her on, I was like, I'll send you a message and let you know if I want you to send the script over. Um, because she's a kid,
Hmm.
like I'm one, I need to be sure. And I was very lucky that she was put on the same mood stabilizer and the same antidepressant that I'm on. And they're very like, I have no, I have no side effects with my antidepressant or my mood stabilizer. Zero. And I know of the side effects of some of these other medications, and that's why I won't take them. I was like, no, no, thank you. I'm sorry. I enjoy life.
Wow. So this is like really best case scenario. Do other people like have experience not have the same experience as you with the same meds? I mean, obviously that's a stupid question because everybody,
No,
everybody's
I'm
experience
like
is different,
thinking
but
now.
specifically about the side effects and
I'm thinking about everybody that I know that's taking this because I recommended it to everybody and they have the same experience.
interesting.
And I like you can't convince me to change these medications. Okay, it's been working for almost freaking 20 years. I think we're fine. We need to up it or we need to lower it. And I do, and I fluctuate. But the best part that I love for me is that I learned enough skills within therapy to where my dose is still like completely a very low dose. Because these doses can go like super high, but I'm like on a low dose. And I fluctuate like between 100 and 200 on my mood stabilizer and like 75 and 150 on my antidepressant, and it just depends on the season because different things, my cycles are different. Like this is my depression season, but this is me depressed.
Yeah. The poster child for depression, huge smile on her face.
Well, but the
37
thing is,
going on 37, looking like 25.
well, but the thing is like, but it ebbs and it flows, and I allow myself to feel my feelings. And before I would fight it, and I had to fight it because I had to go to work and I had to
Yeah.
pretend.
Yeah.
Now that I work from home, I can just be in a bad mood all day and like be a bitch to the air, and then like
Right.
I'm fine the next day. Like sometimes, like yesterday, I needed to cry. Like I woke up, I text my best friend every morning and we say good morning. If we're having some sort of issue early in the morning, we say that and then we say I love you. And so I texted her and I was like, I woke up with a migraine. I was like, I think I'm gonna cry, and I was like, I love you. And she's like, please don't cry. And so like as the day kept going on, I was like, fuck it. I was like, I don't have time for this because I need to cry. Like I needed to just get whatever it was I was feeling. And then I texted her and I was like, okay, I'm back on my bullshit.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Love it.
Because I don't shove it down. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot harder to dig yourself out of the depression, in my opinion. And this, I don't want to like say this across the board, but in my opinion, based on my own experience, when you don't allow yourself to feel it when you're feeling it.
Hmm. We love a good caveat, by the way, in my experience. But no, that's true. And so kind of circling back to the whole feeling emotions things, I've got like a couple decades worth of suppressed stuff that's just been coming up lately, and I stopped trying to fight it. Whereas before I was resisting that flow, and yeah, I see the damage that it's done to me and my psyche because of that
Yeah.
practice of trying to suppress. And on the flip side of that, I see how lighter I feel when I don't, when I just allow the emotions to come up and flow and feel in real time, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to like, oh, we'll deal with this later, because that was the mo before. We'll deal with it later, and later turned into a month, a year, 10 years, 20 years, and now it's this whole big monster. Whereas before it was like this little small, ouchie, this little ouchie wowie, but now it's this huge monster that's growling at me coming up. Yeah.
See, but
So
that's the
heard.
thing though, because men are not allowed to feel anything. Like they're not allowed to emote. So y'all are out here just processing emotions like freaking toddlers because you don't
But
know how.
but it's interesting because men say that all the time too. But I can't recall, and I had that same belief myself. Like, men
Yeah.
men aren't men are supposed to show up in a certain way and be stoic and non-emotional. Um, but I can't recall, looking back at any one point in my history where somebody actually said that to me. Like, this is how a man is supposed to be. It's like just this culture that kind of reinforces itself without anyone ever really, at least in my, so we love a good caveat, in my
Yeah.
experience. Like, I
Yeah.
haven't had someone like some alpha dude be like, hey, bro, what are you doing feeling your feelings? I never had that experience. And I would venture to say a lot of men probably haven't, but we still carry this idea that comes from somewhere, the ether, Andrew Tate, maybe, who the fuck knows, that you're not supposed to do this thing or feel this kind of way. But it's like we impose these beliefs on ourselves, is the
Mm-hmm.
point that I'm trying to make, as opposed to it being some sort of conditioning. It's just something that's in the zeitgeist that we've decided to adopt as our own beliefs. Whereas there are plenty of men out there leading by example, showing what it feels like to emote in a healthy way, in a way that isn't going to draw a whole bunch of criticism and ridicule, because a man is out there feeling their. So I don't know. Like, I'm starting to push back on this whole culture that men aren't allowed to feel. According to who is my question? It's like each individual man just decided that that we're gonna follow this outdated draconian culture that nobody is really even enforcing at this point. So
Yeah.
we're holding ourselves back is the message.
I mean, that's the thing. Like people, like I, as a teenager, my mom told me that I was never skinny. I looked at the picture from my senior prom. I was like, this was me fat. Like, what do you, what? But it's like, but those things, like, I don't allow people who say negative things about me to like ruin my whole day. Like, I might get upset about it, but also I remind myself, you know what? They have something that's going on for whatever reason that they're acting that way, but that is a them problem. That is not a you problem. Um, and I try really hard not to take ownership of other people's feelings.
Yeah,
Um,
I had to learn that myself as a self-proclaimed empath that would just absorb everyone like a sponge.
it's like I don't want to go outside. It feels too much.
Yeah, you just walk in a room and you feel it. It's so intense. But I learned how to turn that off. I don't know how, but that same
It,
thing of like not taking ownership is key.
it's really for me is like, okay, are you anxious? No, they're anxious. Okay, so that's not your anxiety, so you don't need
Hmm.
to work yourself up about it. Um, but I wanted to go back. You said that you just feel your things in the moment. I literally was having like the worst day of my life and I'm bawling, but I needed to go in the grocery store. And I mean like ugly crying and everything. And like this
Just, just in the produce aisle, just streaming.
I had to get my kid food. I can't remember if this was like a time where she had passed out or something, but like I needed to get her something she would eat because she wasn't eating. And so like I'm freaking out. I can't even remember what was making me so sad or anxious, whatever it was. But like I just needed to get in the store and I could not find fucking Rice Krispie treats because I don't go in the grocery store. I pay people to shop it for me because I can't. I, this lady offers to help me. Really kind.
The
Great.
humble brag, by the way. I just pay people
Think,
to do my bidding.
listen, don't they want us to fuel the economy? Other people need jobs too. It's
Yeah,
it's like somebody
facts.
told me they were like, you why don't you just change your own oil? First of all, I could be doing 17 other things in the time that it would take for me to change my oil. Second of all, I don't feel like the dealing with just no. They went to school to be mechanics. I'm gonna give them money. Here you go. There you go. But towards the end, she literally said to me, "At least you're alive."
The lady in the store.
The lady that offered to help me. And again, I don't remember what was going on, but like it was sort of an emergency situation. And I looked
Mm.
her dead in the face and I was like, we're not going to measure dicks on who gets to have a good or bad day because somebody else might have it worse. I was like, everybody's allowed to have a bad day together. Like, that's my favorite day. When I'm having a bad day, if one of my friends is also having a bad day, it's like this constant bitching session, and I love it. It's very therapeutic. It's like, who are we fighting? Are we felonying today? Is that what we're doing? Just let me know. I was like, I need to tell some people some things before we happen. But yeah, when
Allegedly.
people listen,
Allegedly blew the car up.
the police officer showed up at my house, and it was like in that moment, I was like, yay, sexism. This man looks at me and he's like, you're too pretty to know how to blow up a car. I was like, what car, sir? And he was like, do you know so and so? And I was like, yeah. What? They blew up his car because he had like a really nice sports car. It was so cute. But he was yeah. Anyway, so yeah. But he said that I was too pretty to know how to blow up a car. Not really sure how that.
The math ain't mathin', but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah. I was like, you know what?
That's like one of
Thank
those
you.
Monopoly get out of jail free cards, just slam that thing down on the table like it's the ace of spades. We're done here, officer. We're done here. You don't even need to
Okay.
plead the fifth or call your lawyer or whatever. Pretty privilege. Love it.
Like I was like, you know what? In this moment, I will take your sexist ass comment as the blessings of the world. Um, yeah, no, I I utilize every tool at my advantage, and apparently, sometimes that makes me like cutthroat. And I'm like, dude, I was like, what you guys don't understand is that unfortunately the lottery goddess has not blessed me with the $1 billion jackpot so I can help everybody, okay? Because I have a plan. I have a spreadsheet. I literally have a spreadsheet.
Don't start talking nice to me like that. I love spreadsheets.
I have
Like
a spreadsheet.
it's a passion of mine. What would you
Do
do
you
with
know
a
how to
million?
write do you know how to write macros?
No, I'm not there yet. V now ask me about V lookup, ask me about pivot tables.
No,
I'm all
I
the
got
way
those
there.
on lock now. I'm learning macros. That's my next
Damn,
thing.
I'm
Like I've
falling in
written
love right now.
I've I've written a
Shit.
couple of them
Oh
actually.
my
Um
god.
so yeah, I'm yeah, I needed to know how to write a macro because I was like, I'm not doing this repetitive task over and over every single month. This is just ridiculous.
Mhm.
Um
What would you do with
shit.
$1 billion?
With $1 billion? Okay, first
Yeah.
of all, let me
What's the
just say
plan?
this. $1 billion is a disgusting amount of money for one person. Like I will die and I still would not have spent all that money, you know? So, like, first of all, I know in order for me to never have to work a job ever again, I only need 2 million in the bank, okay? And that's going to earn interest, and I'm going to take a monthly allowance from that.
I
We're
swear you
not
sound
going to
just like me. But my number's
we're
10
I
because
mean, if you want it,
I
that's
need a 250K lifestyle annually, and 10 million gets me there. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please continue.
I mean, listen, I'm going to be still shopping at Old Navy and I'm going to live in this quaint little house on my land. Honestly, but see, here's the thing. The 2 million is just my living. Like it doesn't count the amount of money that like I need to buy my like 90 acres of land so that I
Mm-hmm.
have zero neighbors and
Mm-hmm.
like build my custom house with a secret library. It's not going to account for any of that or the debt that I need to pay off in any capacity. So like, I mean, probably I would say about 10, 15 would be enough to take care of everything that I need to take care of. The rest of it, the next step, all of my friends' debt is erased.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them want houses in certain places. Done. Done. I was like, I'll hire someone while you're there to rent it out so that you can earn rental income. Happy days. I'm hiring everyone. Everyone has a skill. I don't know what it is, but I can assure you it's probably something I don't want to do. Like,
Hire someone
I
to
don't want
think
to.
for you.
I'm like, please, for the love of God, can somebody check my emails and tell me, like, give me a synopsis of what happened? And then let me know if I actually need to look at it or not, because it is gross.
So what you do for
Gross.
that is you hire someone to code an AI to give you that synopsis.
I don't care what they need to do. I just don't want to do it. Um, I don't like administrative tasks. I get bored very easily. So
What
I
do
need
you
things that
like? Like,
excite me.
if you didn't have a whole bunch of administrative stuff to do, what would you be doing with your time besides listening to music?
Talking to people, playing my guitar,
The guitar,
learning how to
okay.
draw.
How long you been
Yeah,
playing guitar?
since August. Did you not catch the YouTube
I did not.
videos?
Nah.
Oh, you're missing out, buddy. You missed that one. Must have been
Where
when you were
where's
like,
where's the link? Where's the link?
I'll send you the link. It's
Please.
not private or anything. It's just unlisted. And it's really funny that I made it unlisted but then publicly shared the link like that was I mean it defeats the whole purpose, but it's true it worked. Um yeah, so I started learning how to play bass guitar and then I decided I wanted to learn hand lettering again. And then I also decided that I want to learn how to draw. I don't know. I'm also writing a book, and I've made like this decision that both of my books are going to be serials because the thing is Alessandra is me as well as Marissa. Marissa is also me, but
These are
Alessandra,
characters
like
in your book?
these are characters in my book, okay? Like, and
Okay.
I literally just put Marissa through the ringer. Like, I've caused the girl trauma, and like I gotta wrap this up so like she's not hurting because I just but I gotta go back to the spicy scene, and we gotta fix that um because I can read it and I can regurgitate it. However, writing it, I am like, that's dirty. What? But at any other time, like I literally will be out in a restaurant and I'll just be like talking about slinging dick. Like that's how I am. Like
Love
this
it.
old couple looked at me when I said it, and I was like, I'm sorry, do you guys want to go sling dick too? Like, I mean, I'm sure that's a thing y'all could still do, but like get out of my conversation. Um yeah, so like I just started to do things that I love or that I wanted to do but couldn't do because I decided to be a mom and get married. Um or that I was told I was not able to do because for whatever
Mm,
reason. But like I just don't I would love to have enough money to live the rest of my life and just coach people for free.
yeah.
Like just I just like see myself like on a stage one day just being absolutely ridiculous and loving that for me. But loving that for y'all too because you get to see me be ridiculous. I mean, it's just like the videos from my birthday last year we did living room karaoke and like I'm running these videos back and I'm like, girl, you did not share these with human beings on the internet because you are a whole ass mess. But I will do it again. I'll do it again. I'll never stop. Like, I've already got my playlist. It's 2 hours long. I don't know what my friends are gonna sing, but like that's just mine. This is just what I'm singing for
Wow.
2 hours. And like I just no, but like it's called the 2024 B-Day tour, you know? It's my concert.
Nice.
I mean, two of the songs are duets, but she better learn the lyrics very quickly because I ain't got time to be embarrassed at my concert. Absolutely not.
Not on my B
Yeah.
day. So, all right, before I have this technology fail, because I feel like it's imminent at this point. Are there any final words, any takeaways, any wrap ups? We've got the definition of baddie. It's about 3 hours long. Um, if we were to condense that into like a little sound bite.
A baddie is somebody that shows up completely unapologetically real, bold, does not give a fuck. It's like somebody's like, "Oh, you shouldn't wear that." Who are you, bro? What it is someone who owns every single part of them, the good, the bad, the flaws, their demons, their angels, every single part of them, and they really do not care about what they're supposed to be doing.
Mm, I resonate with that hard. Not there yet. I'm working on getting there.
Listen, that's why my slogan is embrace the baddie within. And when you see me put that trademark, that's because I legitimately filed a trademark for that.
I need a t-shirt. I will pay
I'm
full
trying
price. I will pay full
I am
price
trying
for
to
the
work
shirt.
on merch. Dude, I'm trying to work on merch. Like no lie. Like this is why I'm working all night. Um but yeah, no. So this was awesome. We should do this again because I feel like we could have a bunch of these. Honestly, like at this point, I feel like the podcast is going to become the Selene and Drewski show. Like that's what this podcast is going to be.
Yep.
Um
I'm right there with you. No,
is there
there's
anything
so
that
much we didn't touch on. I mean, really,
I
there's this has
yeah,
been the conversation about nothing. We can have a conversation about something for the for the next one.
I don't I can't make any promises. My brain is who she is. She's a
Yeah.
special place there.
Well,
Um,
your
do
brain meet my brain.
do you have anything that you want to tell everybody before we?
Uh, I love you. I mean, that's the gist of it. Professing my love for the world.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to our almost 2 hour podcast.
That
We
started
love you.
45 minutes late because of me, and I thank
Yeah,
you for your patience.
I he's lucky because you guys know that I think patience runs out, even though my therapist says that it does not. And I'm like, ma'am, I feel like there's not any
No,
there.
you
But
handled
anyway,
me with such grace. Thank you so much.
um, so yeah, just don't come crying to me after you guys watch this episode, okay? Come to me as your badass self and ask me all the questions. I'll be happy to answer them. But until next time, I'm signing off.